All right, let's talk some golf. It is a major this week. We're out in Quail Hollow for the year's second major, which starts on Thursday. So on this show, we're going to talk golf all 3 days leading up to it. Just some initial thoughts, looking at some of the big names right now, heading into the PGA Championship. I think you got to bet Scotty Scheffler, minus 110, top 5. B-Mills, that's always a bet we love making every single week with Scotty Scheffler. Nobody's going to talk about Scotty this week going into the PGA, right? Everybody's going to talk about Rory. They're going to talk about Bryson. They're going to talk about Justin Thomas and the way he's playing. But nobody's going to talk about Scotty, right? He's boring. He continues to be the favorite in all these tournaments. He's plus 450. He's coming off a win a couple of weeks ago. But this is a normal, where they're playing this week, Quail Hollow is usually a normal course that they play on the PGA Tour. And the normal courses that Scotty tends to see every year are the events where he tends to play really well at. So I think Scotty top 5 this week, minus 110, is a good look. What I'm doing with Rory this week, he's plus 500 to win. He's a 4-time winner at this course. This is his best course on the PGA Tour, is Quail Hollow. And obviously now with winning the Masters, completing the Grand Slam, all the pressure is lifted off of Rory's shoulders. It's kind of going to be interesting to see how he plays almost carefree this week with really not a ton of expectations, knowing that he accomplished what he wanted to, winning the Masters and winning the Grand Slam. But now he's got bigger aspirations. Maybe he's trying to go for the Rory Slam and win all 4 majors in the same calendar year. This would certainly be the course that he would want for the PGA Championship. But Rory is notorious for being a slow starter in majors, and we talked about this for the Masters when he was plus 650 to win. I didn't want to bet Rory to win the Masters at plus 650, but when he shot an even par 72 after the first round, and we got him at 11 to 1, that was the time to bet Rory. So I would wait on Rory, see what he does after the first round. Maybe you can get an 8 to 1, plus 850, plus 900. You can get him close to plus money to finish in the top 10. That's how I would bet Rory for the PGA Championship. Bryson DeChambeau, B-Mills, I see you have a play on him, top 10. That is my favorite bet this week. Bryson top 10 at plus 100. I think that's an awesome bet. Think about what Bryson has done in his last 5 majors that he has played in, right? We saw him at the Masters where he was tied for 5th. Then he missed the cut at the Open Championship. He won the U.S. Open. He finished 2nd at the PGA, and he finished 6th at Augusta as well. Bryson's finished in the top 6 in 4 of the last 5 majors that he has played in, and this course sets up beautifully for him. You want to be long off the tee, and you want to have a good short game, and that is what Bryson does. That's where his strengths are in his game right now. Valhalla is also a great comp course where they played last year for the PGA. Bryson finished runner-up at Valhalla last year, so I think Bryson has a great shot of winning this week, but I think top 10, awesome bet for him at plus 100. Xander's another guy that I would look at as well at 20 to 1. Xander's just flying under the radar, right? Won 2 majors last year, then suffered the injury at the beginning of this year. Feels like we haven't really talked about him a lot. He's at 20 to 1. I think that's way too high a price. Xander has finished in the top 20 in 4 of his last 5 starts. And I just told you guys, Valhalla is a great comp course for Quail Hollow this week. Well, who won the PGA Championship last year at Valhalla? That would be Xander Schauffele. Why can't he go back-to-back and win the PGA Championship? So look at him at 20 to 1. And then finally, this is a narrative Page play of the week at the PGA Championship. Jordan Spieth would be a guy that I would look at 50 to 1 to win. I also love him as a first-round leader at 50 to 1, and I would look at him to finish in the top 10 at plus 400 as well. Wouldn't this be so sports for us to talk about the Grand Slam and Rory finally completing it at the Masters, and then we go to the year's very next major and we get another Grand Slam with Jordan Spieth, who this is now the 9th time he has come to the PGA Championship trying to complete the career Grand Slam. I think Jordan's going to be in contention this week. Can't you just see it happening? Jordan gets off to a great start, or he's in contention going into the 4th round, and we have all these storylines where Rory just won the Masters, just won the Grand Slam, and now we might get it again with Jordan Spieth. And Spieth's playing some really good golf. In his last 4 events, he's played really, really well, some top 20 finishes. You think about sports and how these things happen, right? When you look at the NFL, we didn't have any teams that had ever played a home game in a Super Bowl. We got it in back-to-back years with the Bucks and the Rams. How about in the Triple Crown? We didn't have for over 30 years a horse win the Triple Crown. American Pharoah and Justified do it within 3 years. Sometimes it's just how these things work. So we didn't get a Grand Slam winner in golf for a number of years. Now we might get them pretty close back-to-back. I like Jordan Spieth this week playing really well. I think this course sets up well for him. He's a little longer off the tee than people give him credit for. And obviously Jordan's always got a great short game. So Jordan Spieth, I would look for him to be a factor this week at the PGA Championship.